Welcome back, Nick Lenz's Comic Corner, classic slash non-classic. This is episode number 457, double shot number 373. Two Justice League trades, okay? First up, it's Justice League Volume 3 Timeless, taking place right after Justice League vs. Suicide Squad, containing the issues 14 and 19. Now, somebody probably wondering, where's 12 and 13 when the last volume went up to volume 11, I believe it was, correct? Let me take a look at that. I believe it did. Yeah, I believe it did. Let me take a look at that, just to be sure. I'm bringing Wikipedia right now, because usually it's pretty accurate. There we go. Yes, it went up to volume 11. Those who are probably wondering where's 12 and 13, that's actually in the Justice League versus Suicide Squad trade because they're tie-ins to that, so they threw that in. So they're doing something different with these trades. Like if they're tying to a particular crossover, they're in that one trade. They're not going to just put these in there because, well, put it part of the lineup. So basically, you have to get Justice League versus Suicide Squad in order to get those get that trade. I have requested purchase for it. Okay, this particular storyline, it's just a follow-up to Bryan Hitch's Justice League America, a run that was pretty disappointing, and that's pretty much what this story arc is, just a follow-up to it. Yep, and it's called Timeless. And one thing I'm kind of glad that this trade took out, and this was a constant thing. One person constantly complained about this. Oh yeah, it takes place before Superman Reborn. We had to remind of that every single part, which was really annoying. And I mean on a constant basis, like every single issue had to say, takes place before Superman Reborn. Superman Reborn. Take place before Superman Reborn. Yeah, but most of the storyline, that's basically the way it was. Oh yeah, and what are the Justice League fighting? Some random monster. That's pretty much Bryan Hitch's run in a nutshell. Them fighting random monsters. Oh yeah, and the villain is somebody who's been helping them the whole time. Someone called Molly. Yeah, smoking hot redhead. Yeah, let's get a good picture of her. Let's see here. There's some interesting ideas here. It's got good. Like the first issue is just a standalone. The remaining 5 issues is a 5-parter, and this is the main villain of the story. Yep, she's the main villain. Yep. There's barely any hints of this at all. The fact that she's actually the main villain. It's a bit of a surprise. They brought back the Infinity Inc., the Infinity organization, that particular company, which apparently they're time travelers, and one of them is a distant relative of possibly, I think it's Batman, or Superman, possibly. And Batman puts on armor that's normally worn by Lex Luthor, that he's been wearing since just after DC Rebirth. Well, and of course we also see appearance by Brainiac 5. Nice that. But the only thing that's good about this is the characterization, is the character development for these characters, and of course the artwork is fantastic. Hitch does do a lot of the issues by himself, with artwork by Fernando Pesron. Yeah. And some people are probably wondering, when is he going to stop doing this? Because he just basically has been disappointment. That's basically this run in a nutshell. I thought, and a lot of people thought, that probably his run with the next issue once this arc is over with. I checked the solicits. Apparently he's doing 2 more issues. So apparently he's not leaving it to issue 33 with the upcoming Bat from Hell crossover, which goes on with 2 issues of Justice League, the issue of Flash, and Hal Jordan the Green Lantern Corps. But that's something else altogether. But this is just okay. That's simply the whole point of okay. Just good characterization, good development for the characters. The story is just okay. I want to be nice, so I'm going to give this an 8 out of 10. Just a bit of a disappointment. And here's kind of something kind of interesting, though. For about 5 issues in a row, actually 6 issues in a row, there's no Brian Hitch in the writing. They're not my filler writers, and the issues are a lot more better. Can't wait to get my hands on Volume 4 when the issues start getting good. Yep. Alright, here's something a lot better. Justice League America, Road to Rebirth, containing the 4 initial one-shots that preceded Justice League America, the current book by Steve Orlando, with one-shots for the Atom, Vixen, the Ray, and Killer Frost. Now, of these characters, pretty much these 4 characters, at least 2 of whom, this is their first post-Flashpoint appearance. In the case of the Atom, this is Roy Cheadle. I would say he's the 4th Atom overall, because you have Al Britt, Ray Palmer, who's most commonly associated with the name of the Atom. There's also Adam Croy, who was the 3rd Atom. He briefly was the Atom for the Suicide Squad, so he got killed off. And of course, you got Roy Cheadle, a guy who was the Atom for about 7-8 years tops. Actually, it was more like, how should I put this? 4 years. He was the Atom. Yeah, for about 4 years. And then he got killed by Deathstroke and had his body shoved in a matchbox. Yeah. Thank God that basically that complete thing was undone, because that was kind of stupid. I don't know who came up with the bright idea to kill Roy Cheadle. Still Asian. That's when they kept him. He's a bit younger than he was previously, and he's right now, he just started being the Atom, which is fine. Ray Palmer, basically, this is one thing I do appreciate about him, is that Ray Palmer's attire, it's his classic costume. When I initially read this earlier this year, I was so happy to see this thing. The classic costume is back. Yes. Now, in the case of Roy Cheadle himself, he's actually wearing the Atom costume from Legends that Ray Palmer wears on Legends of Tomorrow. Yep. Now, Vixen and Killer Frost, they've been appearing prior to this. I mean, Vixen's last appearance prior to appearing in this very one-shot was in the Black Canary series, where she was a supporting character in that book. I think her last appearance prior to that was actually in Justice League International. Yeah, so Vixen didn't appear that much in this continuity. Nope, I'm glad the fact she is back. As for Killer Frost, she's been showing up most of the time for the past few years. This, of course, is not the Louise Lincoln, who have been the Killer Frost since the 1980s, who actually had been Killer Frost for about 30 years. And then Flashpoint happened, and it's kind of stated she's still around, but basically we're on the 3rd Killer Frost, who was Caitlin Snow, also kills Caitlin Snow in the show. And she's a creation of Sterling Gates. Now, one thing I do appreciate for this trade, they do give credits for creations for the Ray, Killer Frost, and Vixen. Though in the case of Killer Frost, they give it for Jerry Conway and Alan Milgram. Here's kind of the thing. They didn't create this version at all. This Caitlin Snow, that is a creation of Sterling Gates, former assistant to Jeff Johns. He's the one who created this version, and for some reason, they don't give him credit here at all. Nope. They do get credit for the Ray. That's the correct credits. Jack Harris and Joe Quesada. They created the Ray back in the 90s. As for Vixen, correct creators. Killer Frost, they should put in there Sterling Gates, because he created this version. I don't know why. Also, now I think in the Just Like America trade, they do have a credit for Lobo. Now, here's kind of the thing that really bothers me about both this trade and the other one. This one here doesn't have a credit for the Atom. Nope. No credit for the Atom. Like, no creator credits for the Atom. It's like, okay, we have a credit for Killer Frost, Vixen, the Ray. That's it. Now, for these Rebirth one-shots, they're all really good. I asked Jodie Hoster why she was on the writing for this, because Stephen Land himself asked her to help her, because he was doing this in, of course, Supergirl. Despite the fact she's also currently doing Mother Panic, she does Faith, well, currently on hold, do Faith in Future Force, and starting this month, she's going to be doing, I actually think next month, she's going to be doing Amazing Experiment New Year Vows. Excellent choice, by the way. Stephen Land is the current writer of this. Now, of all these characters, all but 2 of them have their own Rebirth one-shots. Batman himself had a one-shot last year. And of course you have the one-shots for obviously Vixen, Killer Frost, the Ray, and the Atom. Yeah, for those four. But as for Lobo and Black Canary, nope. No Rebirth one-shots for them. I don't know why. Seems a little odd, but okay. But, yeah. I get kind of the reason why they threw in the Just Like America Rebirth, which came right after these 4 Rebirth one-shots came out, because they both led into that, even though the Rebirth one-shot was also collected in the first volume, Just Like America. So, for the trades-wise, get this first, even though you're going to read it again for the Rebirth thing for Just Like America, and then get the first volume. Despite the fact this comes before that, but you can get either order. But if you want to get backstory on the rest of these characters, this trade is for you. Now the artwork in here is done by several different artists: Anthony McDonald, Ivan Reyes, Joe Pinaro, O'Clair Albert, Stephen Byrne, Jamal Campbell, and Makaya Fondo. Yeah. Now for these one shots, the artwork. Let's see, the Atom one shot. If I can find it here, I think they have it in here. If I'm not mistaken. Let's see. I think it's at the end. Who does this one? I know that. Okay, Anthony McDonald does. Anthony MacDonald does the Atom. Vixen, which by the way I got a chance to meet Jerry Conway. He actually had my Vixen one shot. The artwork for this was done by Jamal Campbell. Great artwork. Here's a sample of this guy's artwork. Yep. The Ray. It kind of would have been interesting if they would have brought in Joe Quesada to this artwork, because that's where he did create the character. But probably because he works for Marvel, that's probably the reason why. The artwork in this one is done by Stephen Byrne. Yep. He does the artwork for the Ray one-shot. Killer Frost, I think, is done by Ivan Reyes. Let's see here. Now, this one, unlike the other one, just basically just bringing these characters back in. The Killer Frost one-shot takes place right after Just Like versus Suicide Squad. Yep. Let's see. Yeah, this one's done by Makaya Fondo. Yeah, and I think the Rebirth one, so I think this one right here is done by, I believe it's done by Ivan Reyes. Yeah, it's done by Ivan Reyes. All of the one-shots in here are really good, and it's a great way to get into these characters. Well, I just kind of wish Black Canary would have got one too, and Lobo. And from what I've heard from what the Wiki site basically lists, this particular Lobo, it's the second Lobo, the one that the pretty Lobo killed, and then pretty much they undid that when they brought him back. Yeah, I don't know. It's quite confusing when it comes to Lobo, but the way he's written, it's classic Lobo. Yep. But yeah, this is good. I give this a 9.5 out of 10. All the one-shots in here are awesome. Alright, that's it for this episode. Stay tuned for the next episode. I think it's going to be like 2 more DC trades next one. Depends on what they are. I'm going to read them soon, okay? But until I see you on my next episode, bye.